Mooney turned down a sizable extension prior to last season. We're going to talk about it, break it all down, have some fun, and more. But first, we got to play that intro.
Now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content, and Steve-O will be joining us shortly, but I want to make this live because I was going to record like a pre-recorded video, but I figured why not go live? Everybody's off work. Let's go ahead and have some fun. But according to Brad Biggs of the Chicago Tribune, Darnell Mooney actually turned down a sizable extension prior to last season that we hadn't known about. According to this direct quote, Mooney could have a better market than some who follow the Bears expect. I don't think teams are going to hold his lack of production in 2023, 31 receptions, 414 yards, one touchdown against him, knowing that Justin Fields didn't work to his backside reads very effectively. That's a cautionary tale here for Mooney as he turned down an extension offer from the Bears before last season started. As I understand it, Mooney had a 3-year deal worth more than $10 million annually on the table. It will probably be hard for him to approach that on the open market. Now, there's a couple of different angles that I want to take from here, right? First up, the fact that the Chicago Bears offered Darnell Mooney, reportedly, according to this, if you believe it, again, take it with a grain of salt, that they offered him a sizable extension considering he was coming off an injury prior to the start of last season. So the fact that they still were, even with that injury, willing to offer him a contract that was upwards of over $20 million annually says that the Bears did still or had high expectations for Darnell Mooney coming into the season. When you add to that many of us had speculated, hey, it's going to come down to Chase Claypool, it's going to come down to Darnell Mooney. Of course, Chase Claypool ended up being absolute garbage. He was traded away. But then, Darnell Mooney really had a down season as well. It paints a picture that the Bears still believed in Darnell Mooney. Now, for whatever you take that with, when it comes down to it, for this offseason, if the Bears are going to go to the table with a respectful offer to Darnell Mooney, but he's not going to get that money out there anywhere. Now, there's also a report that came out late yesterday that Matt Nagy, reuniting him with Matt Nagy over in Kansas City, that the Kansas City Chiefs do have some mutual interest when it comes to Darnell Mooney. That doesn't surprise me too much, especially when you kind of look at how the receiver situation has worked out in KC. But that's something that we just hadn't heard about. Now, again, I take it all with a grain of salt, just because how many things that tend not to leak out at some point. But we'll end up seeing what comes out of that. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see. I listen, but the thought to take from this as well is that it seems like Darnell Mooney is ready to go to the open market, and the Bears may not get a chance to re-sign Mooney. Now, some people will take that and look at it and say, okay, that's fine, right? You look at Darnell Mooney's productivity last year, regardless if you look at Justin as being the cause of that or Luke Getsy or anything else, and the Bears have a unique opportunity to add to improve their wide receiver core so much this offseason that losing Darnell Mooney may not be neither here nor there for some Bears fans. But when it comes down to it, man, we'll see. We'll see. Listen, I think that, like I've said before, is that I do think that if Darnell Mooney does stay with Chicago, which it may be a long shot according to this report, again, take that with a grain of salt. If he does come to Chicago, I think in a Shane Waldron offense is going to look considerably different. I don't think we're going to see a lot of the same mistakes that we saw and how Darnell Mooney was used last year under Luke Getsy. But hey, and I've always said this in both sports, both in covering the Bulls and the Bears, is that simply once you allow your player to go to the open market, there's no guarantee that they're going to come back, even if you do want them back. That's why the Chicago Bears are trying so hard to get an extension done with Jalen Johnson before he gets a chance to really go to the open market, and they're going to probably franchise tag him before, because it's easy to say in a vacuum that somebody can come back, you can offer a player you want him back, but once they are completely out in the open market, it becomes a lot more dangerous for it. So, we'll see what happens with that one. I want to see how you guys, we're waiting on Steve-O to come on, see how you guys are feeling about this. Jay Grizz in the building says, see, yes, sir, Ski, I hear, champ. I got your back, Haize. What? I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. I like to keep Mooney. I think a lot of Bears fans are kind of more open now to keeping Darnell Mooney, but we'll see where that ends up going. We got Steve-O back in the building. What's going on, Steve-O?
What's the word? What's the word, man?
So, bro, when you see this report that Darnell Mooney was offered 3 years, over $10 million annually, according to Brad Biggs, how do you feel about that contract offer?
I'm not shocked. I mean, well, the contract offer, I didn't know we was gonna give him that. I was shocked to see that, but I feel like it's a little bit more of a respect deal. Like we respect everything you did for us, and we think you can do more. We're also acknowledging that you also had the injuries that you've been dealing with over the past 2 years. But to me, with the whole situation, I didn't think the man was coming back to begin with. Like I thought that man was gone to begin with. So to hear this and that he possibly declined it's not too shocking to me because like when you look at the landscape of when it comes to wide receivers on around of the whole team or the whole league, it's too many places where he's more of a significant player that he can be compared to the other team and what he came in here. When he first came in here, he had it looked like he had the opportunity to be one of the one or twos, but as time went on, we realized he really wasn't that. And then we got somebody now in DJ Moore who's a bona fide one, so he not going to be that. And then we possibly either adding from free agency or drafting somebody that can also be a two, which is also taken away from his spot. So to me, I always felt like he was most likely gone. The system he's been dealing with was annoying and didn't favor him. So I always knew that it was most likely gone. But I will say I'm shocked he didn't take that money though.
Yeah, especially like I said, coming off an injury because he was coming off a major injury heading into last season, so that was kind of shocking that he didn't. And you kind of look at the expectation. I trying to get in the head of a player, but like coming into last season, you knew you were having DJ Moore, which theoretically was going to take some pressure off you. If you would have had that security, you wouldn't have been worried about whatever Chase Claypool ended up turning into. And it's kind of surprising he didn't take it. Now that means that Darnell Mooney was ready to bet on himself. Now it went left because of a lot of different reasons. But hey, it is what it is, man.
I'm never gonna be the one to tell you if you feel like you that dude, you can go make your money and bet on yourself and be one of those guys to earn one of those contracts and opportunities to be one of those guys on that team. Go ahead and do it. Now, based off what I've seen, like, I mean, of course you've been injured. I'm going to always bring that up, but you decline to some degree. You decline, especially in numbers. You decline. So I don't see it. To me, for one, I would thought we was gonna do a 1 year prove it deal because I feel like that was more favorable, more something he'd be more willing to do to stay here. But the fact we actually asked him a long time deal, I was like, yeah, he gonna stay. If we ever ask him for a long time deal and it's some decent money, $30 million for a third or fourth is not nothing to sneeze at. So it's a solid contract, but I just know the vibes of the whole team, the whole season was kind of there. Like you see him more physically frustrated than we ever seen him. So I always felt like he was on his way out. And like I said, if you want to go bet on yourself, go do it. Hey, you betted on yourself coming into the league because you could have almost went undrafted. You're not the prototypical size wide receiver. You was typically on the side, went to Tulane, which is not the biggest football program. But hey, if anybody could do it and prove it, I won't be surprised if he proves it elsewhere, and I won't feel no type of way. But hey, thank you for your service, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of it. I mean, here's the thing, and this is kind of how you never. Well, it's hard to judge the market, right? Because had he taken this deal with the season that he would have been looked in to a deal over $10 million coming off a bad season. But now it's a deep wide receiver class in both the free agency and the draft. And so now, like, not only when it comes to if he comes down to the Bears or not, that market he's not gonna get that money more than like now. If he does, shout out to him. If Kansas City, whoever sees him and looks at him and says, "Oh no, we're getting you $10 million a year," shout out to him for still getting his money coming off a down season. But I just don't expect that money to be there for him. The free agency is deep. The draft class is deep. You can, and then still even with that, you got Tyler Scott still in the wings that it seems like the Bears are still very high on. So this is where betting on yourself can definitely go left sometimes, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as high on Tyler Scott as the team might be, but I hope it works out for him because to me, I think they're thinking that they can see a little Darnell Mooney in him, but the difference is Darnell already had better hands than Tyler ever did, so I think they're just looking at the speed and everything, which is cool. Like if you can improve on his route running and his hands, hey, that's something we need for sure. But I don't know. Did I say Darnell Mooney? Whatever, Zai, whatever.
No, they just making fun of your accent. You be drawing out words sometimes. So
hey, my grandma from Alabama. Don't leave me alone. Hey, fuck y'all. But yeah, I just think he was on his way out, and like I said, if he can prove his way, do it. But I just hope the Bears ain't just sitting here thinking we ain't improving. You need to go get some more weapons now for sure. Like,
wait. Adrian, who is Ed Reed? Are you serious? Bro,
I know you.
You got to be either young
you
or
on.
stupid.
About to say,
Like, I'm just me. I don't know my words back. You either young or stupid. That's it. Like I don't even know what to say on that one, bro. Like you should have. Everything don't need to be said out loud, bro. You should have Googled that one, man.
Right. If somebody say Ed Reed, you should have just went to your little phone the phone device right here and looked up Mr. Ed Reed. It's a highlight tape waiting for. Hell, I know you got TikTok. You can TikTok the motherfucker. That's one of the greatest safeties we ever seen.
Dang, bro, that's crazy, man.
Who was comparing Ed Reed to Moon? First of all, who the fuck said Ed Reed?
Somebody in the chat said Ed Reed.
Oh,
it was somebody in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That's crazy.
My bad.
That's crazy, bro. My man said, "Who is Ed Reed?"
He said, "I know who he is. Who the goat is? Who the goat?"
Oh, okay. I would hope so. I'm like, wait, what we
say?
No, man, Lord have mercy, bro. I was gonna tell you to go get a blunt, bro. You need some help.
No. Fuck a blunt, a book. If you don't know who Ed Reed is, you need to go read something.
Oh man, that's crazy.
That's almost as crazy as C-Dub saying that man Palomalu wasn't athletic.
Bro, listen, that C-Dub gave a lot of people the green light to say some crazy shit, bro. But I love him. When you hear that this was the offer that the Bears were willing to make, does that tell you anything about how they may view this wide receiver market coming up, this free agency? Because if you're willing to pay Darnell Mooney coming off an injury and the season he had in 2022, $10 million a year, you got to look at some of the wide receivers out there. And because I've been looking at it and saying, hey, I don't think they'll pay $20 million for this guy. But if you were willing to pay Darnell Mooney $10 million coming off the season he had, I don't know. That may change my perception on that a little bit.
I was just on the live and I just said something about polls that's worrying me a little bit. And I think it got something to do with. I just think they respect relationship and continuity a little too much. Just a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. You definitely, especially in football, you need continuity, you need chemistry, you need relationships. But at the end of the day, I don't know if any other GM is going to give that man that contract. 3 years, $30 million off the past 2 years. Looking at his stack, that's a hell no. But because you've seen what he's done as a Bear from the first day to now, it's almost like you kind of owe him, and that's what it's giving off to me, and to me, and it's also showing to me that they're really not willing to go into spending money into wide receivers. Because we all know Poles, if he don't have to spend money in free agency, he's not. That's just the type of player he is, type of GM he is. He wants to build through the draft. So if he can keep you here and he feel like he can make it work with you here and you have the rapport and the relationships that's already been brewing here, he gonna do everything in his power to keep you. Hell, he kept St. Brown here and it was no reason to.
Yeah. That's true.
You didn't even use him, so I don't even want to hear him say he's one of the
And
best
he's probably
blockers on the
coming back
team.
this season too. Don't be surprised at Konami
Right.
saying
So
Brown is
yeah,
coming back.
that's just my only worry about Pose. And now that he's showing a little bit that he's a little too damn indecisive, that's another worry of mine. But it's just that I think he's too on relationships, and he realized somebody especially if you're talking about keeping the quarterback that you have, losing somebody that he's been there with since day one is somebody you really don't want to lose.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's interesting. It's free agency is always interesting for what you hear after the fact and leading up, but we'll see what the Bears actually do in free agency this offseason. Any last thoughts, Steve, before we get up out of here?
Hey man, I'm just keep saying every time, make the motherfucking decision, and your Randy Orton looking ass better not make the decision and no goddamn 12:30.
Randy Orton, who looks like Randy Orton?
He looked like a black Randy Orton. I ain't trying to hear.
Now I gotta see it side by side. I gotta see it side by side.
He looked like a 30-pound overweight Randy Orton with a little melanin in him, with a beard.
I'll go take a look at that. Make sure you guys are following us at Shot Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, Chicago Bears Central at gmail.com. Lastly, if you guys want to send us any voicemails or text messages, 773-242-9336. Bro, you blew my mind. Because my brain is now trying to rectify him being a black Randy Orton, and I can't. It's not working right now for me, but I love you guys.
Ancestors is fighting him up there.
Hey, bro, them intrusive thoughts is winning right now. Shot down up, bear down. Love you guys. Peace.